Okay, the final section of this lesson is to look at mental capacity assessments. Now that currently you can only complete mental capacity assessments through care control windows. If we go into our service users care plan, and obviously you would only complete a mental capacity assessment if you felt that this gentleman lacked capacity in a certain area. But in this example we're going to record one. Go into our care plan options, and now we're going to scroll down and find mental capacity assessment. It's under consent and capacity. Okay, so here we have all our consents, which we can discuss later in a later video. On the right hand side we have our mental capacity assessments. Just like everything else on care control windows, we need to go into edit mode first of all. Once we're in edit mode, go back to our capacity assessment option, and we can now add a new mental capacity assessment. And here we can now start to complete a mental capacity assessment, which is the standard assessment that the Mental Capacity Act recommends. So first of all we've got to pick a broad decision area. Let's just say this gentleman wants to try to leave the home. Okay. Now, once we've picked our broad area, we can go and get an example text as to what, a bit more detail about that decision. If we click that option, you can see it's actually come up with information that could be useful in terms of filling out this capacity assessment. So we'll hit select. It says Jim has requested to leave the care home demo site, which is where our home is. He repeatedly tried to leave the home and has made it clear he does not wish to stay here any longer. Now you can add to that text if you want to, or you can accept that text. The next one is a series of questions that you need to answer. The first one is, can the resident make the above decision? Is there an impairment or disturbance in the functioning of the resident's mind? So if we say it's a permanent disturbance, we can get the example notes, and we can just say select, and that will put the notes in there. Next one is, can the decision be delayed? And normally this is where you would say it can't be delayed. Okay, so it's not appropriate to delay. We can get our example notes. Okay, so we need a resolution now. We scroll down now, we now have our stage 2 assessment to complete. So this is where, at present, it's been assessed that he still has capacity, so we need to answer these second set of questions. The first one is, does the resident have the ability to understand the information? Now normally that could be yes, so he does understand that there are some risks of him leaving the home. But this is where a lot of our residents who have dementia and other mental health problems may fall down. Is, does the resident have the ability to retain the information relating to the decision? If the answer to that is no, you'll notice now it says he does not have capacity. If we get the example notes, okay, it just fills all this information out for you. Jim is not able to retain the information due to the impairment of the brain. And that note is excellently written, so we'll add that into our stage 2 assessment. The next question is, does the resident have the ability to assess the information related to the decision? That may well be yes. And does the resident have the ability to communicate the decision by any means? So they may be able to say no or to refuse help. But because of the memory problems, it's flagged up they do not have capacity. Now, the capacity assessments will last for 28 days, and then it will come up, ask you for renewal, and that renewal will come up on the home status screen. The final option is any follow-up actions. If you get the example notes for that one as well, it's a good narrative that we can use in terms of keeping Jim in the home, so we'll hit select. Okay, and we can add to that if we wanted to. Now that is the completed mental capacity assessment. It says he does not have capacity, expires in 28 days, we hit save capacity assessment. That now has been saved and is now part of his care plan.